You've waited a lifetime to look better and feel better, and now here's your chance. Fitness Friday on WNDB. Call 239-0033 and have your questions answered on health, fitness, and a better life. Fitness Friday is brought to you by Bodez by Tasso & Company, 1140 West Granada Boulevard in Ormond Beach. And now, here's your host, Tasso Kyriakis.
Welcome to Fitness Friday today, Dave. It's so neat to be out in the sunshine.
Finally.
2 weeks homebound, sitting in there going like,
Yeah.
So,
I know. I spent a month at home when I had my car accident.
I know you had your car accident.
Boy, what a,
it's an exciting day. Here we got AMF 1150 WNDB, and now we have FM 93.5 as
That's
well.
right.
So we're on FM as well as streaming through news at DaytonaBeach.com.
See, we've always been AM in it. Now we're FM in it.
Well, that's great. So we, I want to talk about a few things just that may have been lost in the past week.
Did you get that FM in it?
Yeah,
thing?
I got that FM in it.
Okay.
So, but the other thing is I wanted to just remind people that there is a very special program going on at Bodez right now. Fitness Friday is sponsored by Bodez by Tasso & Company. I'm the founder of that company, and so while I'm away, I've tried to make it real easy for my staff to sell memberships.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what our lifeblood is getting members, keeping members fit and happy.
Sure.
So the end up this summer, we've come along with a program that seems to be working very successfully. It's a 3-month program. It's a $5 enrollment fee. You pay your little card fee of $20, and then your monthly dues are $39.50 a month, which are $20 less a month than our normal dues. And what happens with that $39.50 a month is you're entitled to our Body Coach membership, which is our supervised membership, which gives you our Body by Science SciFit program, our Fit Key system. It gives you our Smart Start program, where we get you in a succession of meetings and consultations that teach you how to exercise. It gives you use of our Fitness on Demand program. It gives you use of our Body Coach program. So it is the most popular membership we have at a significant savings. It's only a 3-month commitment. Now, why have we done this? Because most people out there, when you look out and you see $10 a month fitness centers, or you see 24-hour a month fitness centers, you're not able to discern that there's a difference, because really those clubs can buy the exact same machines and they can put them in their clubs and look exactly the same. The difference is this, is we have the knowledge to take those machines and make them work for you, and usually in a much more efficient manner than people are doing it when they do it on their own, with a lot less risk of injury. So that being said, I want to say one more thing, and then I want to welcome my guest. The second thing I want to say is we are a Florida healthcare provider, and we are now proud to be a Silver Sneakers provider. That being said, I've invited my friend, longtime friend, Terry Jasinski on with us, who has worked for Nautilus Sports Medicine, MedX, had his own personal training business, now has a website called Ageless for you. Terry, welcome to the show.
Hey, Toss, good to be with you. And you're going to have to send me an email and tell me why you were homebound for 2 weeks. I didn't get that news, but no, I'm glad that you're a Silver Sneakers location now, and I know you'll do very well with it. And every Silver Sneaker member should run over there right away and start training with you.
Well, and it's so appropriate to have the theme we're going to talk about, because you and I have been big advocates of strength training, period, for probably, what are we going on now, 30 years, pretty close to?
Oh, it's more than 30, but fortunately not a whole lot more. But yeah, it's
38 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So, but your little website has a great theme to it. It says 70 going on 25, living life at full strength. And you and I know, Terry, that people who do not strength train, everybody's into, we're going to go to aerobics, we're going to go to yoga, we're going to walk, and you see people walking, but really they're suffering from a condition called sarcopenia as they age, and this is more detrimental to their quality of life than anything else. So let's talk a little bit about that, because you are a coordinator of a program in a fitness center in Atlanta that's your niche. You specialize, and I have an older market in my fitness center. We are definitely a 50-plus club as a predominant, and we have an interesting dichotomy that we have these elite athletes we train, and then you see someone coming in that's 88 years old going into a one-on-one program, and probably close to 20% of our one-on-one clients now are over 80 years of age, just because of the service we provide for them to raise their quality of life. But tell us a little bit about your experience in dealing with the seniors and sort of the aha moments for you.
Well, the first thing that you mentioned as far as what modality of exercise, I like to tell people that nobody was ever put into a nursing home because they can't run a mile. You're headed for assisted living when you can't lift yourself out of a chair, when you can't go up and down steps, when you can't carry your groceries. So overall body strength is extremely critical, number one. Secondly, I run into people who have the attitude, they're 70 years old or so, and they feel like they don't really need strength in their life for anything because we have such an automated, mechanized world. And I tell them, you better be careful about saying that, because how many people do you know who get on in years and they're faced with a situation sometime where the surgeon comes out and says, he really needs this surgery to save his life, but he's too weak. He'll never make it through the surgery. So, surgery causes a lot of collateral damage. You better have something in the bank to be able to withstand that, or you've reached the end of your life. And I also try to make them realize that muscle is not just some sort of tissue that only lifts heavy objects. And this is a real tough thing to get across. I just recently posted something with a YouTube video, but it's really part of your endocrine system, and it's a lot of sophisticated things going on in there, and it uses energy, and it stores glycose, which is broken down from, it stores glycogen for the type 2 muscle fibers, and that's broken down basically from the carbohydrates that you eat. So if you don't do heavy muscle exertion, that carbs that you eat are going to go to fat tissue instead of being stored in your muscles for energy. So it does a lot of helpful things for your body overall, not just lift heavy objects. So you shouldn't abandon strength training just because you don't play linebacker in the NFL. Yep. So it's an educational process, as you know as well as anyone, and it's a grind. The statistics for how many people use our facility regularly are so disappointing to me, because they sign up and it doesn't take anything directly out of their pocket, but half of them never come in.
And Terry, the one thing about it I think we got to get across is for so long, the paradigm of exercise has been 3 to 5 times a week. The government tells us to walk an hour a day, 4 to 6 days a week. Mm-hmm. I think the recent research has shown us that what we do in our protocols of strength training, you and I, we benefit if a person works once every 4 to 6 days.
Definitely.
Basically 6 times a month is all we need people to exercise. Now, I want to regress a little bit on your comment that you said an awful lot of, because my listening audience has been hearing me talk a great deal about anti-aging and these triangles of balance between the brain and the gut and the immune system, and then the body, mind, spirit, where the body is this cellular intelligence and intellect and interaction and that. But I want to come back to something they've been hearing about for a long time, in the last 2 years for me, is the use of the fight or flight cycle for anti-aging. And we found a way to engage this crossover from sympathetic work. In other words, we want to work ourselves hard, to what the body does in what's called a parasympathetic or an automatic manner to heal the body. Uh-huh. And when we go through the fight or flight response, when we get to that 4th stage of engaging a battle, which is our exercise session, mm-hmm. we now create a whole new cascade of hormones that heal the body. So not only is our nutrition, not only is that we got stress release, but now our exercise program is responsible for making stronger mitochondria, which are the energy cells of the body, the powerhouse of the cell. Mm-hmm. We stronger cell membranes, okay, which means we're functioning better. We knock down the insulin resistance that we get, the insulin dominance. We knock that down because receptor sites on the cells begin to work better. We make the body heal faster. We go into our fat stores better. This is all a response of getting into that last phase of the battle, so to speak, the exercise session, the exertion, and it's why intensity is so important. I think one of the big challenges I have in talking to even the 50-plus market is most people out there want 2 things. They don't want to work hard when they strength train. They just want to do that with good form, which we're all about good form. And the second thing that they do is is they don't want to change their weights. So intensity and progression are two things that are very hard to sell to this group because there's such a paradigm of injuries surrounding strength training.
Well, let me take that comment to this point. When we were at a seminar of about 300 guys who do what you and I do up in Indianapolis one year, the speaker asked, how many people have ever had a client die? And the only person who raised their hand in the crowd was me. And the client that I had who died actually came in, had not performed a repetition yet. His heart stopped, and tragically he did die. But out of all of the workouts and the clients that the three of us represented, nobody ever died working out. And I tell my clients that there's plenty of warning signs, dizziness, lightheadedness, shortness of breath, any of those things happen, that then you stop. But you can work very, very hard and exert yourself, and you're not going to, your body's not going to explode. That doesn't happen. There's plenty of protection before you get there. So you got to put that fear out of your mind. And then the second part is, if you use good form, then your last repetition is the safest because you've fatigued to the point where you can't jerk your joint out of line. But you have to use good form to do that. So good form and working hard are and it's so enjoyable to do. I tell people I look for the feeling I get an hour to 2 hours after my workout is to what I live for. And if I've hit it hard enough, because it just is that euphoric kind of, yes, I'm tired, yes, I'm a little bit drained, but boy, doesn't it feels refreshing almost.
Right.
I tell clients, a good workout is, I feel like I'm getting a shower internally because of all the things that are released inside my body.
And there's that catecholamine. There's that catecholamine hormonal flush that the body gets. That is a huge healing. Think about it like this, Terry. People watch fighters fight on TV. These MMA guys. You think, oh my God, look at the beating that guy took. And the next day you see them, and they're perfectly normal. Why is that? Because they went into that final phase of fright, where the body heals so quickly. And I want to comment on your comment, so people understand. The speaker at that conference in Indianapolis was Doug McGruff, who is a critical care cardiologist. And if you remember, he asked the follow-up question, which was, how many of you have had someone die in your facility, not working out with you? And 2 people raised their hands, I believe it was, and those people had passed away, had a heart attack while on a treadmill. And so this notion we have that aerobic exercise is good for the heart, and you can look up Doug McGruff's explanation of cardiovascular benefit for strength training on YouTube. He does a great explanation of talking about, number one, how it continues to get into the fat stores and all that, but what happens to increase the function of the heart strength-wise when you train. And he's an advocate of 1 time per week, 12 minutes, a 12-minute workout, which most people go like, but here we are back to, I had Jim Flanagan on with us last week, and sort of the theme was, hey, everybody's out there seeing how long and how much they can do, when in reality what we should be doing is finding how little we need to do to stimulate change in our body positively.
Correct. Yeah, and it is amazing what you can do if you're willing to work hard, and that's what we try to do here. We, as the industry has gone to a functional training type of workout that personal trainers deliver in most locations, not yours. And they try to make you balance yourself while you're exerting force, which is actually a skill, and it's not muscle development. And so the personal training that's available is not really helpful to the senior market because it has too great a risk of injuries. Plus, it doesn't really do anything except give you a skill that is only good for performing that skill. So you've got to put these people on machines and get them to work hard and use good form. And you mentioned progression before, and I always tell people, let's say I wanted to run a marathon. I don't, but they understand this. And if I could go out today and run 2 miles, and then I went out in a few days again and ran 2 miles, and next week I ran 2 miles, and 3 months from now I'm running 2 miles, would I ever run a marathon? Well, they say, well, no, you're probably not likely to run a marathon. I said, well, people who come in and they use the same weight, the same number of repetitions every time because they're comfortable with it, they're not doing anything but spinning their wheels either. You have to have progression in your workouts, and you have to fight for that one more repetition or half a repetition or a longer time under load or whatever it is that makes your next session just a little bit more demanding, so you can keep inching upward and get the results that we're talking about, instead of just amusing yourself into thinking that you're working out.
And Terry, you know, we have a great friend on your website, age-lessforyou.com. You have a great comment that says 70 feeling like going on 25, and I really want to address that, because vigor and quality of life is so important to us as we age. I mean, I'm 60 now. You're pretty close to me, but you know, I just had a knee replacement done, and I'm sitting there going like, I'm too young for this, you know, and you know, I'm looking around, I'm going, I'm really too young for this. Well, it's the age, not the it's the mileage, not the age in that case, from being a wrestler. But you know, we look around us, and you know, the thing that comes as an example is, you and I have a friend from Jacksonville, Steve Cooper, who's been my guest on this show several times. And one day, Steve Cooper was driving through Daytona, and he heard my radio show, and he says, do you really believe all that stuff, that all you got to train is, you know, 4 to 6 times a month and all that? So he came down and started training with us once a week, and then he would do an intermittent program once a week on his own, or once every other week on his own, up in Jacksonville. Well, about 18 months after he began training with us, he goes to the doctor, and when he started the program, he was 67 years old. He was 68 and a half. He was going for a 69-year-old medical thing. His numbers for his triglycerides and cholesterol and blood pressure were exactly the same as his flight physical he had to take in 1971. So
wow.
Literally, there is that's not a metaphoric thing. That is true proof of numbers, that there is great evidence that shows what we do. And when we have a society, which, you know, you deal with these people just like I do, that come from Silver Sneakers and for us Florida Healthcare as well, and then the independent people walk in that have retired, and that they're dealing with diabetes, they're dealing with high blood pressure, they're dealing with osteoporosis, they got a coronary artery risk. They even, you know, I had friends that used to tease me. They said, you think you can cure cancer? I said, well, now actually I know the science of how the cancer is reversed or held off when we're able to do this. Because if you have a cell that can't function, it can't communicate because it has not been challenged, it is in that inflammation state where the receptor sites don't work and it can't talk to the other cells and stuff, that cell has only 2 choices. It can die, or it can mutate. When it mutates, it's cancer. And we know that the exercise helps us to make that a functional cell again. People with arthritis, and I noticed on one of your blogs, you had an article about Parkinson's streaks, which I have 4 or 5 Parkinson's patients, but also the people who are suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia. We have great results from that because of the program we're doing. Is that your experience as well?
Well, I haven't been focused in on this age group for for more than 4 months, so I can't make any claims on my own experience with it. But the theory certainly holds water with me. You know, when I give a seminar, I tell people the reason I believe so strongly in this is, by all rights, with my eating habits, I should have diabetes. It runs in my family. I'm a sweetaholic. And the only reason that I don't have diabetes, I'm quite sure, is because once or twice a week for 20 to 30 minutes, I work out hard, breathe heavily, and go out on these exercise machines, and I've been doing that, for 30 years or 33 years, I guess. And that's the only thing that I can attribute to my good health to, is that I've done that. Because my eating habits really are kind of bad as far as sweets go, and so that's my proof. I mean, I know in my knower that that's true in my case, and it can be for everybody else as well, because the trouble is, like Darden used to say, is you can't see your heart and lungs, nor can you see your cells. So people don't don't respond to that the way that we think that they should. I cite the case that Wayne Westcott did at the assisted living facility, where in 14 weeks he took 89-year-olds and got 18 out of 20 of them to reduce their need for walkers and wheelchairs. Well, people understand walking, and people value that, and they can see the results from just getting your leg strength back, and that gives them that's a jaw-dropping data for them. But I wish that they could better understand what you just talked about, all the things that go on internally, and that's why I use the word picture of an internal shower, because I feel like that's what's happening during my workout. So, man, I hope you get a gazillion people there to work out, and I want your listeners to know that, like me, you have a heartfelt concern for every one of them who walks in the door. I mean, it hurts when you work with somebody and you want to get them started on a program and they just don't respond. That, I know that hurts you, and it hurts me when I see people, I feel like I failed with them if I can't get my point across and get them to really activate and jump into this. And I know that you do it too, so that you're that way as well. So, people should certainly take advantage of this, and that you got a great program there, and I hope you get everybody in Ormond Beach younger and vitalized and invigorated and feeling good. So all the best to you, buddy. I'm going to have to run.
I understand you got 9:30 appointment. So Terry, I appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and we look forward to talking in the future. And God bless. Thanks very much, and we'll talk again later. Okay.
All right, Toss. Take care,
Thanks,
buddy.
God bless. That's Terry Jasinski out of Atlanta. He worked over at Lake Helen. I met him when he worked at Lake.
He should be on the radio. He
has that great voice,
yeah,
doesn't he? Yeah, I met Terry actually when Arthur Jones was doing all his stuff for from the standpoint of video and stuff.
Arthur Jones.
Arthur Jones.
Yeah.
So hey, listen, let's if you don't mind, Dave, let's take a break and let me pull
Don't mind at all.
Pull up another file here that I want to talk about that continues on this theme. But I want to reiterate. Number one is Bodez is so proud to be now a provider for not only Florida healthcare systems and several of their corporate accounts and that, but also for Silver Sneakers now. We are a provider for Silver Sneakers. And this program is at no charge to you. We do offer you a upgrade to the concierge service of having someone that sets your machines, takes you through our Smart Start program, gives you access to our Body by Science, which we'll come back and talk a little bit about that and its benefit, and the burst training that is ingrained into that program, and the benefit from the standpoint of ageless. We'll talk a little bit about how the body responds to exercise. But the other thing I just want to remind, if you're not in that category, that you have a Silver Sneakers or you have a Florida healthcare membership, then you come take advantage of it. While I'm out, I'm not even allowed. I've still got another 7 or 8, 9 days before I even get to go back to the club. I've been banned, by my doctor. Is that I've given my staff the opportunity and the latitude to offer a membership that is significantly discounted, so you can see the body's difference. It's a $5 enrollment fee. Normally, it's a $199 enrollment. It's a $5 enrollment fee. We have a card fee that we get so we can track you coming through the doors, your little slide card. And then your monthly dues will be $39.50 a month instead of $59.50 a month. So there's huge savings. The commitment is only 3 months, because I believe in 3 months you'll see a body's difference. You'll see a difference. And if you choose to stay with us, you can pick up the monthly dues of the plan that you want to stay with, or you can say, you know what, I don't want to be here. I did this because it was a great deal, and now I can take this back to where I work out. But here is a great opportunity to see why I keep coming on the radio and tell you, experience the body's difference. Experience with supervision. Again, I understand that you can go to a lot of places for a lot less, and a lot of them have a lot more equipment. But the thing about it is having the knowledge to apply it and make sure it works for you. No one in this town has experience since 1978. Forget my personal experience training myself and my lessons that I learned, but since 1978, this has been my mission, to work with people. And in 1980, this conversion to Nautilus philosophy theory and applying that's 36 years of applying that. And I have members that have been with me that long. Why? Because we get results. Do we always tell you what is current with what the trend is? Like the CrossFits and all those things that are going out there right now? No, we don't, because I don't agree with those. But I will tell you, I'm not the guy that's going to give you the popular belief. I'm going to give you what is evidence-based science Just because it's not new or just because it's new doesn't make it better, just makes it different. But what we do is so entrenched in the science of changing the body and coming back to the philosophy of is not how much work you could do. It's about how little work we can do and change the body and change the health and change the energy. So 672-6464 is the number. 672-6464 is the number. Bodez by Tasso and Company. We're going to come back and talk about this theme of ageless and, being 70 and going on 25 or being 50 and going on 20. So we'll come back and talk about that in about 2 minutes.
Hi, this is Mark Bernier for Hendrick Honda of Daytona. At HendrickHondaDaytona.com, nobody treats you better, or has a better selection, or better prices, has bigger discounts, and no one will give you more for your trade. They're at 330 North Nova Road, HendrickHondaDaytona.com, with AARP discounts, and nobody has better warranties on pre-owned vehicles. I recommend them at Hendrick Honda Daytona. Tell them that Mark Bernier sent you.
The Daytona Flea and Farmers Market is a shopper's paradise full of locally owned businesses. From farm fresh produce and gourmet treats to housewares, shoes, and clothing to unique services, the market offers the most variety in the area.
On the first Saturday of every month, join us for our antique and classic car cruise-in. Enjoy live DJ music during the show from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's free to show and free to attend. Check our event schedule at DaytonaFleaMarket.com for all the details.
Stay cool with their misting system. Enjoy their relaxing garden areas or chill out in their air-conditioned malls. Join them for lunch at Hopalong's Grill or the Thai restaurant. Grab a specialty beer in Johnsonville Brat at the Doghouse. Fresh squeezed lemonade, hand-dipped corn dogs, funnel cakes, ice cream, and giant turkey legs.
Visit us on Facebook and at DaytonaFleaMarket.com. 1,000 booths, free parking, free admission. Open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 9 to 5 at 1425 Tomoka Farms Road, just a mile west of the Speedway.
Daytona Flea and Farmers Market. More choices, more value, more fun.
Hi, I'm Mark Robertson, professional photographer at Beach Photo and Video. Is time running out to save your precious family history? Because mold is growing on your videotapes or your VHS player is broken. Do you have boxes of VHS tapes or 8mm film in your closet and have no idea what's on them? Beach Photo and Video is committed to saving your family's history. Simply bring your videotapes, 8mm movies, or faded pictures to Beach Photo and Video to be restored and put on a digital DVD. DVDs last for years and can be passed along to future generations. Your family will be grateful. Beach Photo and Video. At Beach Photo and Video, our prices are reasonable, our work is professional, and our service is quick. Beach Photo, located at 604 Main Street, Daytona Beach. Call us 252-0577 or visit us at beachphoto.com.
$5 won't buy much these days, but at Bodez Personalized Fitness, it can start you on the road to a shapelier, slimmer body and more energy and health. That's right, Bodez Summer Shape Up is a membership for unlimited use of our supervised exercise program and fitness-on-demand exercise classes until October 10th. $5 starts your membership and a low monthly fee of $39.50 in July, August, and September. We'll guide your fitness program with our personal supervision. It's a short-term membership to show you the body's difference and to get over that fear of long-term commitment and failure in fitness. By October 10th, you'll feel and look better with your new uplifting attitude and life-changing results. Call 672-6464. That's 672-6464 to start your short journey to long-term results at Bodez Personalized Fitness in Ormond Beach.
Call 239-0033 for Fitness Friday and your host, Tasso Kyriakis. Here's Tasso.
Well, welcome back to Fitness Friday, and I just want to reiterate that commercial that just ran for us. It has a little bit of dated material in it, but again, that program is still running. Instead of, you don't have till October 10th, you have actually till November 10th. So if you start a program today, it costs you $5 to begin, $20 card fee for your little card that flashes you in and out of the club, and then your monthly dues are $39.50. And it's only a 3-month commitment. So it'll be August, September, October, and then by November 10th, you'll have a great idea of the body's difference. You'll feel firmer, you'll feel more in shape, and hopefully you'll stay with us. But we want to show you with no risk, no fear of failure, no huge investment. Now think about what you're saving. $199 is the normal enrollment fee. You're saving that. And the monthly dues for the program we're offering you is normally $59.50 a month. So if for nothing else, it is a great tutorage towards getting in shape. We'd love to have you take advantage of that. Call 672-6464. Now, when I left, I said I wanted to come back and talk a little bit more about some of the things Terry and I were talking about as far as the ageless program. That 70 going on 25, that 50 is the new 30 kind of thing that we hear so much about. But you know, Terry Dushinsky and I have always believed that exercise is properly performed on in a knowledge philosophy type of manner, produce faster results, produce them more effectively than any other strength training equipment. So, but we got to have a clear understanding of these principles that will ensure you to receive the best results. Because there's people who walk around every club in this country, and there's a Nautilus machine or a Cybex machine or a Body Master machine or maybe even a MedX machine, and they get on it and they do the exercise, and they're not producing results. And the first point I want to cover is intensity. Intensity is so important, is that you challenge yourself. Now, to get into the science of what challenging ourselves would mean is a longer discussion, and probably one that most people don't want to talk about the science of. But let me try to short circuit it here and talk about it in a very basic sense. The fight or flight response of the body has a 4-step process. Freeze, where we realize that we're sort of in danger, okay, and our senses, we become rock hard. It's a deer in the headlights. The second phase is flight, where the body prepares to run from danger, and there's a whole set of hormones that are responsible for increasing our heart rate, getting more blood sugar into our body, so we can take the evasive action. Then there's the third phase, and we don't control these. We don't go, oh, no danger, just turn. We go through these first three no matter what, even if your coworker startles you at work. So the third phase is this fight where now we're ready, this fight where we're ready to fight. Our body, gets our mitochondria producing more ATP for energy. This is the episode where women lift cars off their babies and things of that nature have occurred. So those are the first three phases, which are they occur in a systematic type manner once it's stimulated to occur. Now, the thing that doesn't occur in society and why stress is so high and we see cortisol rising and all these other things occurring is because we never actually engage the battle. We never actually exert the energy. We never dissipate all of these hormonal and chemical responses that occur. But when we work hard, whether it's a hard run, whether it's a sprint, whether it's a strength training session, when we really work hard and we go to that, what many people may be familiar with, the anaerobic threshold. It's where you're doing your aerobic exercise and you're walkie-talking, or, oh, everything's good, oh, and you're breathing good, and all of a sudden you get that phase where you're, I'm really pushing hard. And that's your anaerobic threshold. You want to get to that several times during the span of a workout, and intensity brings that. When that occurs, you now have engaged a parasympathetic response by the body, an automatic response by the body that says, let me heal the body because it's been through a traumatic situation. So through the trauma, we become stronger. Well, this comes from intensity. And what we do with exercise is, as long as you are working with good form and you're breathing and your eyes open, your face relaxed, we want you to push. We want that intensity. It will not hurt you. Where will intensity hurt you? If all of a sudden you say, I've got to get this weight up because I want to demonstrate how strong I am, and you bend your body and you wiggle and you throw the weight. That's not good. Getting weight up at all expenses is not good, because we have a progression. Remember, folks, the muscle does not know the difference physiologically from an exercise. If you take a 10-pound dumbbell and you bend your arm full range of motion, that arm, that muscles involved in that exercise act the exact same way if you had taken a 1,000-pound dumbbell and tried to curl it and couldn't curl it. The muscles, the muscle tissue does not know the difference, okay? So what we want to do is we want to create intensity to make these hormonal changes. With intensity, we make progression. Progression is that, hey, if I can do this exercise and I can do it a certain period of time. In our case, in the one-on-one program, we use time frames based on the intensity of the client. An elite athlete trains in a 40 to 70 second time frame. The average person that comes in, they're just involved in a fitness program. They want to stay in shape. They're involved in it where the repetitions we want to work are in a period of 60 to 90 seconds. If we have someone who has arthritic situations, the time frame boosts up closer to 2 minutes, two and a half minutes. So when we hit whatever that parameter is, for you it may be 8 reps, if you're counting reps, maybe 8 reps or 10 reps or 15 reps or 20 reps, whatever rep count you take. When you can do that rep count, you need to increase the weight by a small percentage and then work your way back up to that rep count again and then increase. That's the progression that goes along with intensity. But we should not fear. We should not fear increasing intensity during that progression. And I alluded to this. The third point is form. We have to have form that is slow and smooth, and the body is put in a position of good posture, and we maintain that posture as long as we can. Because as we do, it allows us to progress to higher intensity training. Because what will help us if we get caught in a situation, Dave, is momentum. If you're sitting there and you're doing an exercise and it gets where you can't move full range of motion, you only move half the range. Well, I'm sure that if you wiggled your butt, arched your back, and threw it, you could get it up. But we don't want that. We want that smoothness. We want you to lift it up on that count, whether it's a 2 count that you lift it up on or a 10 count that you lift it up on. And then we want you to let it down nice and smooth on somewhere between a 4 to 10 count. And so we do this because we want to accentuate the negative. That's our fourth point. When you lift a weight, when you contract, okay, that's the positive. You're contracting the muscle. But the real benefit of making you strong comes in the negative. And we're actually stronger in the negative. When you let the weight down, that is the most beneficial. You know, Parkinson's patients, MS patients, ALS patients, Lou Gehrig's disease. You know that Augie Nieto, our good friend that we've talked about several times on this show, Dave, Augie Nieto is the first Lou Gehrig's victim, sufferer, however we put it, patient, that has ever reversed his ability to contract his muscles and move his legs. And the person working with him is Arthur Jones' son, Gary Jones, because Gary has a business relationship with him with Hammer Fitness. But he's able to now move his legs and contract his muscles. And that is something that has never been done for an ALS person. But Gary has used the philosophy of negative-only exercise. In other words, Arthur Jones explained it like this. He said, you got a limb that's laying there, and it's just laying there, and you think it doesn't work anymore. He says, but you can lift it up, and it'll just fall down. But if you can lift it up and make it to where it falls down slower, you're using negative exercise. And eventually, if you do that long enough and you stick with it, you'll be able to lift a positive exercise. This works for stroke patients. It works, again, we see it working in ALS with Augie Nieto. We see it with MS, and we see it especially with the Parkinson's patients. The fifth one is the duration of the exercise. Again, for most of our people, it's a 60 to the 90 second time frame. And we don't believe that more is better. We believe if you go longer than that, what happens is this. If you go longer than that, what you're going to do is you're going to get to a point of diminishing returns. If you go 30 repetitions as opposed to 15, you lifted it, but there's a point where it's just not a big benefit to you. So if you're using rep counts, I really like the rep count of 8 to 12 on the upper body and 10 to 15 on the lower body, and even a few more will be fine on the lower body as long as you're working hard. And I like the frequency, as we talked about, to be for this market of over 50, I really like only twice a week. I think when you first begin, you can start and you can go every 48 hours. You go 3 times a week for probably 6 weeks max. And then I think you can take it down to 2 days a week, because most people have other interests and other activities they're doing. So I think the frequency of that, we try and vary your programs at Bodez. That's our Smart Start program. We try to get people to understand that we want to keep good records. We do that. Any person been in my one-on-one, Dave, I have your workouts all the way back when you were coming.
No.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you brought them with you?
No.
How embarrassing!
I don't have them with me, but I did bring. I do have those. I do have those records because we keep those. We want to know. We want to build a variety into your program. So we want you to make sure that when you're coming. So if you're at your fitness center, here's some just 12 rules that I think will help you. Number one, is perform only one set of 4 to 6 exercises for the lower body and 6 to 8 for the upper body. Complete no more than 12 exercises in any workout. Okay. Select a resistance on each of those that you can do between 8 and 12 reps. Make sure you can do at least 8 reps. Don't do more than 12 on the upper body or 20 on the lower body. Okay. Continue each set until no additional repetitions are possible. In other words, even though you lose some range of motion, this is where intensity comes in. And intensity doesn't mean you have to be no pain, no gain. Intensity means that you hit a point and you couldn't get full range of motion. So you come back down and you lift it up. You don't get as high up. You come back down, you lift it up. You don't get as high up. And eventually you get to where you're just pushing against the weight and it's not moving. That's volitional fatigue. That's great. I like the idea of working the larger muscle groups first when you're first starting out. Although I have found that with women who have been active, if you've been a runner in the past and stuff like that, we really derive a great deal of benefit of starting with the upper body first in our Body by Science program. So we want to number 5 is to concentrate on flexibility with the slow stretching during those first 3 reps. Make sure you're touching lightly. Don't set the weight down, because if you set the weight down, in 5 seconds, it's back to 50% of its strength.
Yeah.
So you really haven't fatigued the muscle. So you want to get what we call an eggshell touch. You want to lightly touch, turn, and right back up. Okay? Accentuate the lowering, which is the negative, which we just talked a little bit about. Number 7, move slowly, never faster when you're in doubt about speed.
I see them going fast all the time.
Oh yeah,
I hate it.
Because people want to see how many reps they can do. They want to see how much weight.
But they're throwing the weight.
Listen, this is not a 1-rep demonstration of strength. It's not about that type of thing. Okay, do everything possible to work every muscle group by keeping your posture. In other words, when I'm working, if I'll keep my body in good posture, neutral position, no risk of injury. Not saying that a joint won't hurt, because say doing a lateral raise machine, as you fatigue and you get to a point of weakness, that shoulder might indeed hurt you. Well, you don't have to be Conan. You don't have to be Conan the Barbarian. Just go to the range you can go as long as you can go. But you'll notice that if you keep doing that exercise in what's called your pain-free arc or your pain-free time frame, you'll be able to do it longer. You'll get stronger little by little. Okay, but maintain your posture. Because as you maintain your posture, you actually involve other muscle groups to come in and help. Attempting to be that rule of progression. 1 rep, 1 second, 1 pound, 1 more attempt every time. Train no more than 3 times a week, as I said, for the 50-plus market that's active. I really like 1 to 2 times a week. Keep accurate records, your date, your resistance, your repetitions, and even your overall training time, so you don't get caught too much in that aspect. And then number 12 is vary your workout. Now, those 12 principles are built into our Smart Start program at Bodez by Tasso and Company. And that's why I think it's such a benefit that with our $5 enrollment that we have currently going on, you get that Smart Start program. You'll get the benefit of our Body by Science program. You'll get all those things included, and your monthly dues will only be $39.50 for 3 months. At the end of 3 months, you can say, okay, I'm willing to increase my dues to get this kind of service. Or you say, thank you very much. It was a great learning experience, and I'm going to move on now. So we appreciate that. So, Dave, I want to I know Terry's out there. I want to invite him in because my nephew hasn't called in. I want to change gears a little bit. I want to talk about something that is very, very important to me, and that is my nephew John Exonitis this year is the honor of being the quarterback club captain this year. And so I want to talk about that because I think the quarterback club is just such a wonderful, wonderful group. It's a group that you go to every Monday night. We're going to start September 8th, and September 8th is going to be some kind of great presentation. It's Lou Holtz, and I don't know people. We see Lou Holtz on ESPN, but he is a great motivational speaker. He usually gets paid like $25,000 to $50,000 a session to talk to corporations, and he's going to be here in Daytona Beach to kick off the quarterback club season, 67th season of quarterback club, and I want to invite people to join the quarterback club. It's a $385 investment. And it's gives you 10 meals. We're going to be meeting at the Plaza Motel on the beach side. And here's the speakers we're going to have this year, okay, because we have some really great ones, okay. We have this year, starting off with Lou Holtz. Then we go to Tony Barnhart. Tony Barnhart is an anchor on CBS Sports. Great guy, funny guy, has lots of stories to tell. Then we have UCF coach George O'Leary will be here. Had a great season last year. You know that he has had his trials and tribulations because he applied to, and actually was selected as the Notre Dame coach, and they found out that he had lied, for lack of a better term, was inaccurate. How about that? Was inaccurate on his resume, so they didn't accept him. And he's been at UCF building a great team there. Dante Culpepper, who's one of the Billboard, one of the big names that we've heard come out of UCF, had a great career in Minnesota, and actually had the opportunity to play at Miami. Tommy Bowden, who was the coach at Clemson for a while, and Bobby Bowden's son. Dr. Jerry Ponch, who covers football, racing, and that type of thing, local guy. Okay, Keith Brooking, who was a linebacker in the NFL, played for the Atlanta Falcons, where he sort of made his name. Also played for Dallas and the Denver Broncos. Then it's Jesse Palmer, who is an ESPN Atlas, University of Florida quarterback. He'll be in. Kellen Winslow, Hall of Fame tight end, who is now the athletic director at Florida A&M University, played at the University of Miami. And then Lee Corso ends the year, the analyst from ESPN that puts on all the funny hats and everything's on game day on football on ESPN's game day show. So we have a great lineup. It's 10 weeks. It's $385, and it's such a great deal to get it. So you can go to dbquarterback.com, the Daytona Beach Quarterback Association. You can download a membership. There is a limited membership. There is only going to be 300 members this year. So we start the year with 197 active members. And so we can come in. I know personally that I've brought in about 30 so far, brand new members. So that number, we're going to seal that number at 300. But I think that you if you want something to do, number one, if you like football, and you want a little break to go someplace on Monday evenings. I mean, if you pick Lee Corso, Tommy Bowden, Lou Holtz, and maybe one other guy out of those things, and those are the only ones you got to go to, it's still a deal of the century. Because really, think about this. When you go to a conference, I mean, what did you pay for that conference to have them have some named personality stand up there? And then you get the old chicken and whatever dinner. I mean, we have steak, we have chicken, we have pork. They've really put out a very nice spread.
You know what I like that you guys do is each week you salute a high school offensive and defensive player of the week. Give them an opportunity to shine and really build them up.
And it gets, we give an offensive player and defensive player of the year, but the other thing we do with this is when people come in, we bring these athletes in, we bring their families in, they get to hear these big name speakers. I remember when I was in high school, when I went to quarterback club, I heard Bill Wade speak. Bill Wade was one of my idols when I was growing up. He was quarterback of the Chicago Bears, number 9, graduated from Vanderbilt University. It was a different time then, so I went up afterwards and stuff. But these speakers, when they come this year, my nephew John, for the majority of those speakers, probably won't happen with the Lou Holtz, but for almost all the other speakers, they're going to go over to the Oyster Pub and sit and watch the football game with us.
Monday Night Football,
they've agreed that for the first half of imagine being able to sit there with guys like Tommy Bowden and Jesse Palmer and sit and talk football and watch the teams that are playing on Monday Night Football.
Cool.
So they've done a great job. They brought a great service team in to be the thing. And again, I want to go back to what does Quarterback Club do? Like you mentioned, it honors high school athletes. But here's the other things it does. It has a scholarship page. That what it does is it takes every senior and it puts those seniors on this page with their statistics. So now let's say there is a Kansas Wesleyan that doesn't have a budget. They have a football team, but they don't have a budget to travel 4 corners of the continent to try and get athletes to sign with them. So what do? They go to this website, the Daytona Beach Quarterback Club website, and they go on it and they look at athletes we have. We need a quarterback, or we need a wide receiver, or we need a tackle, and we're a Division III school or Division II, and now they can contact that kid. There are several kids who have benefited from this program through the years. And so I hope that people will come out. Again, it's going to be a great year in Quarterback Club. We're going to have we have a deal with the executive committee. If there's a certain number of new members we get, if we hit a certain number, then we're going to be able to bring back Turkey Night, which I think was a lot of fun. Turkey Night, and so I hope that you will consider buying it for your husband, getting involved with us in that, because it's just a great program. And it's a great night of camaraderie for people like football. And the website is DaytonaQB.com, and you can go there and you can see about the news about it, and you can also download your application. We've waived the $100 joining fee, so give us a call. You can call me if you need information on it, 672-6464. I'm very proud that my nephew John Exonitis, a member of the 2006 National Championship Gator team, is is the captain this year, and we hope to have a great season. So with that, before I get off the air, Dave, I need to thank again Kalen's Home Furnishings for sponsoring our Stressless Chair giveaway and our membership promotion at Bodez. And thank Dr. Fahn for all that he does in the community, helping us with people. I can't wait to get to go see him to help with some of the swelling and everything, to get it out of my knee as my physician gives me permission to do that. And I hope that you guys will support these two local businesses that have a great influence in helping Bodez by Tasso and Company and Fitness Friday bring these messages to you and be successful. The number at Bodez is 672-6464. Remember, $5 starts your membership today. $20 card fee. Your monthly dues will be $39.50 a month. Now that's $199 minus $5, so $194 savings on enrollment and $20 a month savings for 3 months. It's only a 3-month membership. Gives you a chance to see what Bodez by Tasso and Company is alike, and so we'll have a great time with that. Phone number is 672-6464. We invite you to come be part of it. We also want to invite you that if you're a Florida Healthcare member that has their Medicare program or one of their corporate accounts, bring your card by. Let us run it through the ID system, and you may qualify for a free membership in our Body Coach, Body Express membership, which gives you a Nautilus circuit, hammer strength training free weight equipment, and a beautiful cardiovascular area that has about 50 cardiovascular machines in it. That is at no charge for you. That is paid for by Florida Healthcare, and also the Silver Sneakers program. You also do get access to our Fitness on Demand. For those of you who have not heard, Fitness on Demand is our system that is
20 seconds.
The Fitness on Demand system is a thing that allows you to take the fitness class you want at the time you want it, with the friends you want to take it with, and the best instructors in the country. God bless everybody. Thank you very much for all the people out there, and we look forward to seeing you at Bodez by Tasso and Company.
You're hearing WNDB Daytona Beach. It's 10 o'clock.